Hi everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Happy Monday, a big character of the week last week. So we have a few winners because I couldn't just pick one. There were so many votes and it was such a big week. So our first group of characters who won character of the week is Olivia, Alexis, Nina, Carly, and Maxie, the women's rights crew. And then our other winners are Roxy and Dr. Finn. How could we not? With the honorable mention going to Elizabeth. And now let's get to today's recap. So at Kelly's, Sam and Jason are out with Danny, and he asks her out on a date, and she's like, I would love to, but I'm in the middle of a case. Of course you are, Sam. Of course you are. And she tells him she's pushing through with the case, even though she's been told to leave it because there's a kid involved, and she offers to make him a partner so they can talk freely and then maybe have some fun. At the hospital, Tracy wants Dr. Finn there, but he's not there. He's at the Metro Court meditating or something, and Obrecht reminds them that he's not fully vetted yet, and Tracy and Monica are like, we're Quartermains. Dr. Finn arrives and tells Tracy that the treatment isn't 100% guaranteed and her condition could be fatal. Would have been good to know, maybe not so late in the game, but he says, even though they're cutting it close to when they caught it, they still did catch it at a good time, and she's a strong patient and should pull through. Obrecht wants to discuss his future at GH with Dr. Finn. Okay. Jason and Sam bring Danny over, and Jason offers to talk to Tracy. Kind of. And then he gets roped into it. Dylan is keeping Tracy company, and it's just really, really sweet. Really sweet. Sam compliments Dylan on his photos in the Real Women issue, and then she has to leave because she may or may not have gotten a text message that I'll mention a little later on. And Tracy's like, why didn't I see the magazine? You should have showed it to me. And Dylan was like, I didn't feel it was the right time. So Obrecht tells Dr. Finn to step down as Tracy's doctor because HR hasn't cleared him. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to do that. And she's like, well, what if I don't agree with, what you're just telling me? And he's like, well, then I'll tell the state licensing board how Dr. Mays recklessly cut open a patient's head. And then, how there's a willful disregard for patient care when the hospital's accreditation comes up and for review. And I guess I'll have to testify to that. And then he really lays into her, really a lot. It was awesome. And Dylan leaves to get Jason and him and get coffee, but you really just kind of leave the room, and which is leaving Tracy and Jason alone. And he tells her the pudding is really good, and then she starts at first. Someone who's not super familiar with the history, I kind of thought it was legit, and then as she gets on to talking more, so Tracy starts telling him that it's his legacy, and apparently, when he was in the hospital, he complained so much that Monica shared Cook's recipe with the hospital chef, so the pudding that's why it's so good, because it's really Cook's recipe. And Jason's like, I don't remember any of that. And then she goes on to say, don't act surprised, you always had Monica wrapped around your finger, Daddy. Oh, she's confused. So Tracy felt she was at the bottom of the totem pole when it came to how her father feels about her, even under the people who worked at the Quartermain mansion. And so it's just kind of really sad. And Jason plays along and says that he's proud of her. And she says she's gonna get ELQ back, even if she has to go to Jason and, get rid of the rest of her dignity. And, she has a secret weapon named Rachel. So switching to another part of the hospital, Ava's on the phone with who I can only imagine is Delia. And Delia wants to come to Port Charles, and Ava's like, it's really not safe right now. And Paul wants to talk to Ava, and she still wants the recording, and he's like, haha, no. But he wants to renew their arrangement. So he says it was, hey, kiddies, he says it was never his intention to put a target on her back with the immunity deal, and she doesn't want a protection detail, she wants nothing to do with him. So Paul asks how Kiki's doing, and he offers to help in any way he can, and she tells him to focus on his own family and stay away from her. Dylan runs into Paul. He asks Paul asks if he can visit Tracy, and Dylan doesn't think it's a very good idea, especially right now that she's in there with Jason, but he promises to get him in there eventually, just not now. Ava gets a call. It's someone she hasn't talked to in a long time. Who could it be? I know. You'll know soon, too. Don't worry about it. At the attic in Windermere, Laura is still there, and Liz comes up. Elizabeth tells her that all hell is breaking loose in the living room. So Elizabeth fills her in on everything. And Laura has reservations whether Nick will really turn his back on Rachel, Hayden. What are we calling her? Are we still calling her Hayden? Are we calling her Rachel now? I don't know. For right now, she's Hayden. That's so, because I don't know. You tell me. Are we going with Rachel or are we still going with Hayden? So Liz threatens to involve the police, but Laura's like, no, because, attempted murder. So Liz doesn't know that Hayden, nobody knows that Hayden knows that, or Hayden, whatever. I'm with Hayden right now, just name-wise. So Laura says the police could reopen the shooting case. So Laura says it's Nicholas's decision, and they need to respect that, no matter what he chooses. Now, in the living room at Windermere, Hayden still believes they love each other, and Nicholas is like, we're strangers. Yeah, you barely knew each other when you got married, too. So, really nothing has changed, except you know her real name. Actually, you know more about her now than you did. So Nicholas is so high and mighty for someone who literally tried to murder her. I mean, the whole time, I'm just sitting here like, really? She lied, and he wanted her to be truthful. He's such a hypocrite. So he makes a point of how you can never escape your past. That's going to come back and bite you more than you know it. So she brings up how he lied to Sam for months, and she says that, he was trying to hold on to ELQ. Wait, I don't know what I wrote. But that he's worse because he did it for greed, but she just did what she did to have a fresh start. And he's still lying to her now, but she kind of deflects that when he's like, what do you mean? So Nicholas leaves from the Metro Court, and he texts Sam to meet him. What? That's a text message. So Liz comes back downstairs, and Hayden tells her what happened, and then Hayden grabs Elizabeth and won't let her leave, and she calls her a homewrecker, among other things. So Elizabeth says Hayden was only a placeholder. Really, everyone's just been a placeholder. Since the one true love of Nicholas's life is no longer there. So Hayden's like, I'm no placeholder, and Nicholas is just processing everything, and I am not leaving this house. And no, she's not. I can't wait until she pulls the you tried to murder me card. It's going to be my favorite day. I'm just saying. At the Metro Court, Nicholas wants Sam back on the Hayden case, and he fills her in on everything Rachel Berlin. And he doesn't know if she's truly after his money or not, and he doesn't want the police anywhere near Hayden. No, don't involve the police. Just you investigate. At Kelly's, Laura meets with Scott and shows him the book and tells him she's in Helena trouble. So she fills him in on everything. He says he sold the books after they broke up, but he doesn't know how Lena came in possession of it, and he thinks that he's what she's loved and lost, and then they kind of move on from that. So she shows him the circled letters, and he's like, I know you'll be able to solve it, and we're like, you're such a good help, Scott. Now end scene already? So Ava is meeting with Scott. That's who she was calling. So can't wait for that. Laura is trying to figure out the code. Obrecht is getting Dr. Finn all set up. But she's really not happy about it. And she's going to find a way to get rid of him. So Dr. Finn is injecting himself with something. Not sure what. Don't want to make any assumptions. But yeah, it doesn't look good. Dylan comes back and Jason asks him to get a nurse or something. And Dylan can see that Tracy has confused Jason with someone else. And Sam comes back in and knows who Tracy is talking about when she says Rachel. And then she tells them that Rachel Berlin is Hayden Barnes. Liz keeps taunting Hayden, and Hayden brings up how all the men Elizabeth's ever been with, like, leave her or, like, cross the ocean to leave her. And Hayden isn't stepping aside, but then she goes a little tad too far, and she calls Elizabeth's kids bastards, and Elizabeth slaps her. Like, it's a good slap. It's, yeah. And I can't blame her. I can't blame her for it at all. All right, that is it for today's General Hospital recap. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean so much. And I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. I hope you have a great day. Bye.